Let's make some cookies. This is the perfect fall cookie, and you can also use it for the holidays. It's chewy pumpkin cookies with white chocolate. So right now I am getting ready to cream my butter and my sugars together. This is 3/4 a cup of white sugar, 3/4 a cup of brown sugar, and a melted stick of butter. So pour that in. I'm going to use self-rising flour for this instead of all-purpose, so I can skip some of these steps. So we need to get our flour. Here. That's 1.5 cups. And we're going to go ahead and put our spices in. So let me get that ready. We're going to need cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and nutmeg. And that's ground on all of those. Let's see where we begin. We need a teaspoon of cinnamon. And a 1/4 teaspoon of everything else. Okay. Then we're going to fold in the sugar mixture. And I forgot to add in the pumpkin and vanilla. I'm going to need about a teaspoon of that. Add a cup of white chocolate chips. 1/2 cup of craisins. We need to put this in the fridge and let it chill for at least 30 minutes or overnight. Okay, so the dough is chilled. So I'm just going to, you can drop it by spoonfuls. I'm going to try to experiment with a few different sizes. This is my lined cookie sheet. I always line all my cookie sheets with foils just for easier cleanup. And I have already got my oven preheated to 350. I'm using clean hands. And I'm just trying to decide about how big that I want to do these. You've got to give me a cookie scoop so I can do this way easier. You'll bake 350 for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, y'all, so cookies are done. It did take a little bit longer than what the recipe states. The recipe said 10 to 12 minutes. I think I went a little bit more than that. And I let them stay on the pan for like 1 minute cooling and then try to take them off. You have to be really careful because they're really soft. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make a real fun recipe that I've made for my kids forever, but it's been a long time since I've done it. It's s'mores bars, and I decided I was going to show y'all how to make it, if I can remember. So you need a stick of butter melted. You're going to add some white sugar and brown. You need 1/2 cup of regular sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And we're going to cream these together. We need to add a teaspoon of vanilla and 1 egg. Mix that. And we're going to put in our flour. And I'm going to use self-rising flour so I don't have to add anything else. You need 1 1/3 cup of flour in a bowl. And you need 3/4 of a cup of crushed graham crackers. And I'm going to whisk all that together, and then we're going to add it to our other mixture, our wet ingredients. Come in the box, but I haven't been able to find those lately, so here we are. Okay, so let's bring this back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the beaters again with the mixer until I can't anymore. And we're gonna kind of do like half and half. So now we're gonna combine this together. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop because it's getting harder and harder to get it to combine. So I'm gonna finish stirring it myself by hand. Okay. So just finish stirring it if you don't want to finish with the mixer. This is gonna be your graham cracker portion, I guess you can say. And it's fairly easy to stir. It even smells like graham crackers, which there's graham crackers in it, but you know. It's an 8x8 pan, and I believe I've made it bigger than this before, but today I'm just going to go with just the smaller. So this is not going to be, you're not going to put the whole thing in there, you got to split it up. You can press it with your fingers. I'm probably going to have to do that with the next layer. But you can do it with your fingers, it's fine. So the recipe calls for king-size chocolate bars. 3 of those. And I think they measure like a little over 2.5 ounces. I'm not sure now because this recipe is kind of old. I'm just going to use just the regular 1.5 ounce bars. I get a 6-pack, and then that way I can use, you know, however I need, you know, I'll have plenty. So almost 4 bars. Marshmallow cream. You're going to need a 7-ounce container. That's this size. So it's the smaller one. Here we go. The rubber spatula would work great. Okay. So I'm gonna split this up here and here because you need to use the whole container. I'm gonna try my best not to make a huge mess. So it's okay if you get some of that stuff on it because it's gonna all be mixed together anyway. Okay. This is pretty much the whole container. Okay. And you can also, if you all you have is a spoon, you can also spray it. I'm just gonna try to do it without it.
I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could.
This is going to be a little bit more tricky, okay? So, because of the marshmallow cream now. Little dollops.
My own memory out.
Which my kids were little bitty when I made this. I've only made it maybe 2 or 3 times in their life. And most of them don't even remember. It's going to look really ugly before it goes into the oven. But I promise it's not going to matter.
Give me that look, take a bow, already know. Now you gotta go. Hey, now that our names are written.
And I guarantee you, I did more on one side than the other. Okay. Alright. So this is going to have to go into a 350-degree oven for about 35 minutes or until it's light golden brown. You're going to love it. Hang in there with me. Okay, y'all. So this is the finished product. I cut it out so you could see the layers, but it did perfectly. Be sure to watch it though, because see my top got a little bit too brown, but it's still going to be edible. So it's real easy and it's really a fun little thing to make, and it tastes just like s'mores and everybody loves it.